I spend a lot of time talking about the setup because we find while we're hitting, the majority of the deficiencies in our swing are a direct result of deficiencies in our setup. Meaning all of our players want to be good out here, and they're all concerned about what they're doing out here at ball strike. But as we rewind, most of the problems that occur at ball strike are a direct result of the problems I have in my setup. So it's crucial that these little tiny details in our setup are all followed through with when we're teaching our hitters to swing. And no more so true than the upper body, which we're going to talk about now. When I get into my stride, and my stride foot lands, what I'm thinking about with my hands to get them to the proper launch position and getting separation is that my stride foot is going to walk away from my hands. My hands are going to start somewhere over my back foot, just slightly inside my back foot in my stance. Some guys start a little farther in, and that's okay as well. But when my stride foot lands, my hands are going to stay somewhere in that same position. The only thing that's going to happen, my hand action, is going to be my top hand is going to turn in slightly, turning the knob to the catcher's feet. But the separation that I get from my shoulder and beyond is going to be my stride foot walking away from my hands. And that gets me separated beyond the shoulder, which puts me in a position to whip the bat. A couple of things that happen here when I stride either with my hands or don't get proper separation. First of all, when I stride with my hands, I've decreased my hitting zone, meaning it's going to force me to get downhill really quickly in order to get on plane with the baseball. And that's not going to happen until out in front of my belly button or out in front of my front hip. So my hitting zone has decreased 2 or 3-fold. When I get proper separation beyond the back shoulder, that downward action of my swing is primarily going to happen behind my body. So as soon as my hands reach my body, I am on plane and can stay on plane until I get down to extension. The other thing that happens when I stride with my hands or don't get separation beyond the shoulders is my hands become part of the shoulders. So when my hands stay inside my shoulder line, instead of my hand swinging the bat and getting me to the baseball in one direct line, my shoulders will take over in the swing, turning the bat. And now I'm going to work in a semicircle pattern, which too decreases the time my bat is in the hitting zone. It's in now, and it's gone. So my bat was only in a hitting zone for approximately 1.5 to 2 feet. So when my hands stay inside the shoulders swing the bat. When my hands get beyond the shoulder, the proper separation, my hand will turn my shoulders instead of my shoulders turning the bat, which is crucial for us to get barrel whip and for our barrel to stay in the hitting zone. Proper separation is this. When my stride foot lands, my hand will be in a position to whip if you see my hand and my elbow in alignment. Very similar here to where I would be when I'm turning double play as a second baseman. I'm throwing a ball, trying to create whip, my hand and my elbow will be equal, which I'll show you in just a second. So when my stride foot lands, my stride foot walks away from the hands, and my hand and my elbow will be equal. On the other end, when I'm looking at the pitcher, to get proper alignment with the front arm, this is key as well. No matter if I start my hands away from my body, start my hands closer to my body, when my stride foot lands here, I'm also trying to create a line. And I call this a direct line of pull. My direct line of pull means my elbow and my hand will be in alignment, or my hand will be slightly inside my elbow. And this is so I can throw energy in a straight line forward. When my hands are over some line right underneath me, this imaginary line is where my hands are going to stay from when my stride foot lands all the way through extension. If that pitch is down the middle, I want my hands to work on line, to, and through the point of contact. The only way that I can do that is if I get into this proper alignment when my stride foot lands with the front arm. Elbow and hand are going to be in alignment to each other. And finally, the knob of the bat will be pointing to the catcher's feet. When the knob of the bat points to the catcher's feet, my hands again can work in that direct line through the point of contact. If the knob of the bat is pointing to the other batter's box, my hands are going to cast. In order to put my hands in a position to whip the barrel through the strike zone, hand and elbow have to be equal. If the hand is inside the elbow, I am going to push the bat through the strike zone. When the hand gets equal to the elbow, I'm going to whip the bat through the strike zone. And pushing and pulling, or pushing and whipping, are two distinctly different things, which you'll see in the next